with Ambrose. Good news that yes, global market was seeing caution trading move, but despite that, we're seeing also some mature market are rebounding after like a 5 days pullback in those mature economy. We're seeing, but also our NGS is not left behind. At this hour, I think that the market is also trying to also to resist further decline and giving a light of a green light at this hour. For me, it's a good one for the market. Yes, I will tell you that in anywhere in the world, that the beauty of stock market is market has to rally, pull back to create opportunity for new entrants, and also go back and surpass where it pulled back from. And that is why you, as a trader investor, you must keep your eyes on the market. Whether you're a market watcher, keep your eyes on the market. Look at what is changing, and also look at the market, internals to see how it's also improving. That tells you that yes, there's a change. Actually, anywhere in the world, we say that movement of funds is about what? Interest rate or yield or an alternative investment. When you see them looking up, most of the investors want to reposition in those that are trying to sell off here and go there. But you need to look at how sustainable is that sell off, and at the same time, the rate they are seeing, how sustainable is that. Because I believe that globally, with all eyes today, on Fed chairman to speak at the Jackson old conference, that is going to give a lot of insight on what we expect going forward. Yes, despite I also see that the peace talk between Ukraine and Russia still that is not the end. I believe that both the European leaders and US are also interested in that peace, seeing what is happening in Middle East. We don't want the political tension, fear war to continue into the future because we have seen the impact on different economy for that. We have seen that moves have been taken by the world leaders to make sure that peace return to Ukraine and Russia, and at the same time, Middle East experience also peace again. For me, there's no cause for alarm. Pray that you need to invest intelligently and follow what the trend and the market. That's why I said you don't invest or trade and go asleep. As you trade, invest to keep your eyes on the market to see what is happening. Let's start what's happening Australia market. As we speak now, I think that that market is mixed. Yes, and also cautious trading was seen in Asia market. But good news that stocks are also looking up this hour in that market. Already they are gains solo in that market as we speak now. Even when thousands of or hundreds of investors in that region or according are still waiting to see the clue from US interest rate has going to go as they wait to see the Fed chairman address at that conference. That will give them that even when all eyes are still more on on macroeconomic data. Yes, and the major market there, which is China, was that their inflation also came and also it was not as expected, but still investors are still analyzing that figure in that environment. But good thing is that Japan being one of also the major market economy there was that activities are mixed bag of what inflation data for the month of July shows that there's a growth. They remain well to inform that the Bank of Japan are targeting to push up interest rate and also increasing it. How will it go? How far will it go? What the kind of the rate is going to mark up their interest, or are they going to go another way? These are the things that since the inflation figure has come, what are they doing? Also, other markets in that region also after that their all eyes are on the negative activity that we've seen from almost 5 days in US market. But this morning was seeing a bit out because we're seeing that the technology stocks or shares I call it are continuing to decline. That way down the market, even in the midst of missed earnings from Walmart and others that weighed on that US market, which most of the markets were tracking before now. Before this morning, we're seeing a change in trend, which is also a good news. We're seeing that this focus on the first chairman address is very, very important because I think later today, with that speech, will give a clear direction what investors will also expect from that rate call anticipated in September. This also give a clear direction what the central bank will be doing. After they have said in June meeting that hike is indefinitely or kind of hike is on that way because of fear of tariff impact on both. Seeing that yes, they have a marginal kind of slowdown in inflation, and that also gives to see what the Fed will be doing. But in Japan, like I said earlier, that the inflation figure that came from Japan also is a pointer that that they're likely to be an inflation sorry interest rate hike or up. Let's let this figure as they digest it, that will give a clear direction. But I tell you, the Bank of Japan is targeting it's kind of a 2% annual target for inflation. If that is achieved, we'll see how far it go. For the sticky inflation, I put more pressure on central bank in Japan to hike rate. I tell you, and also with analysts also ready to see how it's going to be at the end of 2025. That also Russia in the scenario going to play out between now and that's why also determine what the Japan shares will be doing. But good news that we're seeing that as we speak now, even Japan shares are also up a little now this morning, almost at that of South Korea are also in green. For me, it's not a bad one. And if we talk of Indian stocks also in green, but I believe that China is also leading the gain as we speak now amid what tech was selling pressure in tech stock. But good one on a broader note, Asia market is advancing this morning over there in that region, which is also a good news for me and also for others that are also looking at the market now. Major indices in China are up. I tell you that they're all in green, respectively. Good one for that Hong Kong. Also, index is up. For me, like I said earlier, we're seeing all this as a pointer where the market is going. Outside of Hong Kong, investors also watching for earnings from Nvidia. These are the things that also are weighing down on the general market. But Australia market is slightly down 0.2, and that of I told you, I mentioned South Korea earlier, up by 0.9, and India market is not left behind. As I speak now, India market is in the red, at this hour, and this also, giving like one, despite it's down, also expected to see 1.5% for this week in that. Again, also stronger India Purchasing Manager Index also promise of reform from the government, also help investors to now look at how a sign of what US tariff will be against India over the war, the purchase of Russian oil. These are the things we're also waiting to see. Singapore market is also up at this region. Let's quickly look at what is happening, in Europe. Europe, I'm not surprised. Europe market, like I say, this market, Europe market is now moving southward as we speak, ahead of what the Fed chairman speech. And also, there's a cautious trading, especially today. Traders are waiting to see the outcome of this speech to give a clue of policy direction and policy outlook for what for that economy. Don't forget that when US and Chinese sneeze, that country or region also catch cold. That's what we're seeing now. The outcome there also will guide them. But as we speak now, most of the indices in Europe market are still down. They are in red, marginally red, but I think the outcome of this meeting and also mixed market also in that region with Japan also with Germany, British company also falling, almost index fall by 0.5, and also don't forget that we saw that data review that the German economy also contracted by 0.3, for second quarter of 2025, more than initially expected. But that's the official also reviewing that industrial production performance was also worst at that same time. These are the things that have been a concern for investors as they gear forward for Fed chairman speech, and that also give a clear direction on what Europe market. Even as the market is slowing down, I think there are some sectors in that Europe, also some companies that are seeing buying interest in them, which is also a good news forward for the market in that region. Finally, let's look at US before come to Africa and come to our market, NGS. Yesterday, that US market as speak as kind of inch up, kind of edge opening, we call it, to hot the 4 days pullback of same. Good on Friday, most times it's the same market, but today we're seeing that Friday are turning a good market for US now. We've seen that of Asia, that US market is rebounding after pullback as discussion between Trump and Putin, and that of the outcome of Ukraine and Russia blaming each other for kind of a break in peace talk and all those that have weighed the market, and also sell off in high tech companies weight of US market for almost 4 days. But I've seen now this morning at this hour that the market there has also rebounded, which is also a good news on Friday. Fine is a good one. And Joe is up by 0.3, and S&P also 0.2, and NASDAQ was up by 0.1. And despite that, like I said earlier, that most of these index were lower as Friday, but at this one, I've seen a broad base, kind of posting a 5 days straight of a decline no days of decline, but for this news now, for me, it's a good one. As this three no major average, we are headed for what loss for this week or losing this week. But with now we're seeing it that at the end of the day, how far the market was still might likely see that the index will close the world in red. But despite that, we're seeing ahead of this week for the Fed chairman, that also has been a focus, and we're seeing that market already reacting to it, because I tell you that interest queue is very, very important when decision will come from there, or what the speaker, the chairman will speaking will guide a lot of investors. That we are all eyes are there, knowing that the policymakers will also seeing them focusing more on managing inflation, than seeing more labor weakness. We want to see what happens, but we're seeing different view of different governors in that Fed, or that the Federal Bank of US, or what I call it. For my belief that it's a good move to see what will come today. Now that will guide the investor, and that's why we are seeing all this. And also to speak also the Q2 number that came, the computer number that came from UBS lifted the S&P also target for me is a good one. The earnings also likely finish well, and that has impacted the market also as we speak. And price also is up, moving also impacting S&P. Strong Q2 number, and improve economic condition. We are seeing also playing out there, and this is what also investors are looking at to see how this quarter earnings of improvement, particularly strong with S&P earnings were growth about 8%. Assess like that of UBS also initial 5% expectation. This is also a good one. That's also, and don't forget that the magnificent the seven tech companies will deliver 30% growth, also surpassing the bank bank's 20% forecast. Also for me, it's a good one. And most of the media companies also beat their earning expectation for US, and that's also a higher thing. I believe that this is also going to impact their market as we speak. As we speak now, I'm not surprised that the market is in green ahead of it. Like I said, that crude oil is also said to win higher this week. We're seeing that even at this hour, oil price has also moved up in the green again, tracking almost 2 weeks losing sweep. And means that we're seeing that the increasing sign that the peace negotiation between Russia and Ukraine are not, we are still already also moving not, but I believe that there's still more room for discussion. But as we speak now, say that the oil price has also moved toward 67.68, against what it closed yesterday, 67.67 dollar now, 67.68, just 0.1% up as we speak now in that in the global market. For me, it's a good one, and I believe that the investors are also looking at if this 3 years and half war in Ukraine is also continue, as we will see that traders are pricing in both those are trading in commodity, and also seeing how the move by US and other European leaders bring results to this the whole issue. But before we go, let's look at what is happening in what in Africa. Africa is a market that I can see that the market is missed right away. I can see that most of the market are also rebounding. Some are sending their bullish momentum for NGS Nigeria market. Nigeria market has pulled back for almost straight for this week. But today we're seeing a rebound after we've seen that there's a kind of a little gap. We saw for me is that a hammer formation. If you look at the chart here very well, that was saw yesterday. But you can see that now that the market is already in green here. We want to form a double bottom here, but is it how it's going to go? If you look at this point here and here, is it going to rebound or is it going to free fall? But as we speak, market have gone below the 140,000 mark before. Now I see that it's crossing back again, trading above what it closed yesterday, trading right now at 140,591.73 against what it closed yesterday, 140,000, sorry, 140,591 points against what it closed yesterday, 140,332. This is that market is trying to even when this is a time of market. So also, if you look at the market breadth, of course, it's good to look at market. The market breadth was seeing that about the market is recording almost 38 gainers against 20 losers. Good one for me is a good one. That market is also matching up at this hour. That tells you that investors are really paying attention to what is happening in the market right now, and this is a good one for me. That at this time we're seeing this improved number. For me, it's a good one. That market is doing almost 34 gainers and 11 losers right now. and we're seeing that the buying interest are also been has rekindled or kind of we're seeing buying interest more in in the financial sector, and that is why today's topic we're seeing that decision time for banking stock is it, and also is it both for also financial stocks because we're seeing kind of a rebound in this sector. Insurance now is showing time, but we saw the sign for bank yesterday, and that's why I'm talking today is decision time for what for banking stocks. You need to know is it the right time to buy the banks or not. Yes, we look at the chart of these banks that will give us insight on what to do. And now we're seeing that insurance also rebounding after they also experienced pullback again. On Monday, we saw that there was increased buy interest. After that, it was seen also sell off in the insurance company, insurance sector. Now we're seeing also a rebound as we speak now. After that, out of the five top gainers, all award insurance company. You can see that Veritas Capital, Sovereign Trust Insurance, Guinea Insurance, Prestige, and Regency Insurance. These are the top gainers as we speak now. And I tell you that this stage that something is happening there. They want to look at this insurance company, how they've been, and also the banking stock that I said the topic for today. That is because I believe that most of us only if you're were still in insurance stock, but I know I have in this platform and also that one talk more of insurance before they move came. Now also look at us to see now it's time for banking stock. What are we doing with these banking stocks? Is it time to buy? We want to look at what is the market sentiment telling us and not what are we expecting that will change the scenario in the banking sector. Is it because the pullback we are seeing value across board in all the sector, or why is it that I'm talking more of banking sector? What is that immediate that will turn perception and also attract funds into the banking sector? These are the things that we want to look at as we discuss this hour. Quickly, let's look at what the market is doing, and I'll call other indicators for us to look at the market itself now. Before we now go quickly to the topic of today, looking at decision time. What I'm going to do to take that decision is using what charts and also the sentiment in the market and the money flow in this market. Where is it going? We are seeing that before now, market money flow have passed, have crossed the 50 points, looking down almost around 45.77 yesterday. Want to see the rebound? Is it rebounded? We need to look at all these. These are the things we want to do at this hour. Now let's quickly look at our money flow and look at what and look at our MACD. What is it telling us? We want to know all this and where is the market going from here. These are key things that we need to also pay attention to when it comes to what taking decision. Like I said, decision time for what? For banking stock. You need to trade profitably in that sector. How are you going to trade without having information? Now we're expecting their entry dividend. That is not enough to say because dividend. What is the sentiment in the market like? Where is it flowing to? You need to understand all this so that you can make informed investment decision. Because trading profitably at any market direction is key. If sector rotation is what we have to go by, where are we looking at? We saw people expect to enter early in insurance. Now that we expect to see most of the focus to reduce their work, their half year result that come with a trade dividend announcement. And when if you follow the trend before now, most the earlier ones, the early finance for those banks should come in this last week of August, while the late one will come in September. But with the notification we're seeing for most of these banks in on or before close of 30th September, 30th, that means we're going to see those earlier that have not given us information about what they're going to do are likely to come this late August or early September. That's why we must pay attention to all this. But let's start from the market generally. I've told you that market have crossed down the T line to show weakness, and that weakness, as I said, we are seeing like market declining on a low traded volume. We must pay attention to that. When market was going, we are seeing a part of institutional players, smart money, pushing money. We are seeing volume, but market is going down now with a decline in volume. But we are seeing money flow going down. But we'll tell you, though, is it that the PFAs are selling? If they are fairly selling, why are we not selling more? Yes, they might be taking profit. As I tell you that they usually don't just trust the market as we retail investors. They have to do diligence on the numbers, look at macroeconomic data, look at the monetary policy, look at also what is happening in alternative markets, especially the fixed income market. Don't forget that this week under review we saw that there's an uptick in interest for 90 days, 91 days, and 364 days for the Treasury. Is that we saw like almost at the end of the day we saw fixed income market in about 0.03 yesterday. We want to see will that trend continue? But with what we're saying now, funds are coming back to the market. People know, but it's just a market part of the market dynamics we're seeing. But The good thing is that any market that goes down has to come, goes up has to come down. Market that comes down has to also rebound. But the people that as market have crossed down the T line, it's a sign of I think that anytime market is above the T line, that's a strong market. You can see alpha market have run in that direction. Oh no, that's why we're not surprised coming back then. But good things that market is resisting the decline here. We saw a hammer candlestick here. You can see it very well. That is the market like but now we're seeing the market trying to turn green. We're still watching to see where it's going to go from here. For market coming up to almost reading 140,222 at this point. For me, it's a good one. And let's take and see how far it's going to. Once market cross back the T line again, a new trend also is going on. A kind of trend at the market. It crossed out, it beat out this resistance here. That also confirmed a new uptrend. But I also to that before the end of the the quarter, we're likely to hit what the 450,000 index in this market because I see high caps like Boa food gaining this hour. If we see also two or three that are rebounding before then, especially when we starting position for end of the quarter, addressing at the same time positioning forward for any season, third quarter any season in October, that will change the face of it. That means this pullback is for design investors to buy to value. Pay attention for our discussion this more afternoon. See the market trying to bounce back here. You can see it here with this hammer we're seeing here, and also this green candlestick. You can see it here that we're seeing that reward. Money flow is still below the 50,000 point, the 50 points, sorry, not 50,000, 50 points, we're sitting down. And also, this also see bearish. We want to see if this token is coming down, will turn at the end of the day, or as it's still there. Let's see how the market. But as we speak, market bread is very positive. I've said earlier. Let's wait and see what happens. But let's go to our discussion for today. We said the decision time for the banking sector. Want to take it now, not only bank, I'm likely extend it to what to insurance, let's say financial sector, because we are seeing a rebound in the in insurance. Let's start with the banking first. This is the index for the banking index. You can see that there's always what we call a double bottom here. Check this point here and check this point there, and you see the market the index pull back. This market sector index was up. You can see where it got to this level. Now it's actually at this point on top of the T line before pulling back. You can see it here. But now we're seeing after forming a double bottom here and here, you can click it here, take it from here to here, get to this level. You see that even yesterday, that started that yesterday, so this is a day chart I'm using. I can see that it pull back, the kind of pull back, but rebounded there marginally. Now it's extending in this hour. Hope you say good news. And don't forget what I said earlier, as all eyes and what on interim dividend on this bank is going to give a clear direction, especially after they have said forbearance and wheelbarrow sentiment. When the post CBN came to say yes, most of these ones have been cleared. If it has been cleared, it's going to reflect on their payout, and that's why the payout that will determine how far this rebound will go. That's why I said decision time for banking stock. What is your own investment objective for the banking stock? Are you an income investor? Are you a retiree? Or are you a trader? No, for a trader, this are because I tell you, news is what drives world sentiment. And as we speak now, if dividend comes and you are not in market rally, you will be missing out. But now the market has formed a double bottom as we speak now, and you know that when the double bottom comes, most times it's where market also going up again. And that is that for this banking sector, at this point is rebounding. How far will it go? But as I told you earlier, once you cross this key line, that is about it's already a sign of us saying ahead of what ahead of the expected dividend. But one thing that the banking sector, if you look at the volume have been relatively below the average traded volume, and it's a sector that has volume on every day. No transaction is that banking stock that you want to sell or buy will not flow. You can see that it only few days that have broken down the average traded in that industry. But see, I tell you that is the only way I see that if you want to buy and sell, the volume is there available for you, and that's the beauty of the banking stock. And also being regulated sector, I tell you, activities are guided. That also you see that foreign investors, don't joke with this sector because this is the engine room of any economy, and that's why you pay attention to it. But looking at money flow, slightly below 50, but I will see that this is another one, almost the same point. This though, but once it will turn at this point, we will know. Let's wait and see. But I tell you, this is where I'm targeting that before it break at this level, this is the lowest I'm seeing here. Before it break at this level, is about 39 points. It is likely to rebound. Already as speaking now, it's around 41, trying to turn up. But also, if you look at also your MACD here, you can see that your MACD is also trending up marginally. See that this sector here is longer than this one. I mean, it came up here, but now gradually, if at the end of the day we are seeing histogram trying to also as a kind of ascend in this direction to cross this signal line, that's a good sign for me. The candlestick has given us that we have to be ready for a rebound and a backing, and that's why I give you information for things that are likely to drive this rebound. That's why you must pay attention to this backing stock right now. At the rate they are pullback, we have to expect to see a rebound. And for those especially that are in dividend paying banks, especially Access Bank, Stanbic, GTCO, Fidelity, Zenith Bank, and I believe that once they hit the market with their announcement, they will also don't forget that GTs, the way it rebounded yesterday, even at this hour, is also looking up, and also Zenith Bank has also rebounded this morning. But we'll see that Access is still on the loser chart. But I know that before the end of the day, it was bad. If Access will keep, to paying anything above 1 naira, we might see the price going back to 30 and support 30. That will give it that. But let's see how it goes, and also how fast the regulators will release the result. Because that is what the market expected to also turn the narrative right now. But good news that both the market and the banking sector are looking up as we speak. Yes, let's not take too much time here. But I said this or what I want to explain today, that it's time to start a position in banking stock. In the pullback, there is an opportunity. Let's quickly look at insurance company. We are seeing a turnaround in the insurance company. Let's see how it will. Yes, I didn't use other chart, but you can see the insurance bank as at yesterday was still pulling back. But this hour today, you can see the rebound. You can see it on this, on this, what we call bullish engulfing. Already the green one is bigger than it. That means it's also trying to take away what the market lost yesterday, and what the sector lost. Sorry, the sector lost yesterday. You can see it's a good one, and for me it's a good. After it has crossed the steel line, once the quality line up again, that's a good one. And money flow, you can see that fund is still entering the stock. You can see even when it was pulling back, you can see that it was being flat. Good one on data, but see that the magnet confirmed a bearish situation 2 days ago after it has declined now. But let's see how far it's going to come at the end of the day. As I tell you, as at yesterday, it was still coming down, but this morning we're seeing the new buying interest. You can see on the candles, on the volume here, green, but as I said, also relative volume is also low. And look at it there. You can see volumes when it was going up, volume came out from that industry. You can see it here. As it comes down, fear, panic, and see that volume also. But right now, as the volume started sitting down, that's why when market is going down, or sector is coming down, only to pay attention to volume. Volume analysis is very, very important. Also get what is happening, especially compared with other momentum indicators and parameters in the market. That will help you to know what to do. We are seeing a good one after volume decline, but you can see it here, going to come up. What comes up from here is what matters. For me, good one. Already we are seeing a bullish engulfing here already coming, and that's also a very reversal pattern also that we should pay attention to. Let's quickly look at 1 hour chart for this company. On 1 hour chart, that's a good news. You can see that it has crossed the steel line on 1 hour chart. You can see the move here, and you can see also that volume is also coming up to almost 13 the average on 1 hour, and money flow has also started looking up. You can see that this 30 or 25 has been a strong way. It touched here before it went. It tested it here before it went up here. You can see it here. Now, on this one, I'm talking about a daily chart. This one, you can see also a rebound in the last 2 or 3 hours. You can see that the market is also going up. For me, it's a good one for the insurance sector. That's why I must pay attention to it. Let's quickly look at a few of these insurance companies that what are they doing right away that have made this turnaround. The ones that are driving this turnaround, we must look at them and see. I'll tell you that Breta's Capital is one of the major stocks that is driving this turnaround. I can see that the last 2 hours or 3 hours, I can see that stock across the T line, money flow have moved to almost and look at the sign you are seeing on your MACD. This is a very bullish sign. I see that once you cross this signal on a 1 hour chart, that will become what a bullish signal. And I said that this is one of the insurance companies that has no pension fund as part of its subsidiary or part of its holding structure. Windows is not a holding company, but I say that as a PFA is strong that recapitalizing this company will not be a major problem because of what the assets they are sitting on. I see that's why value is already there. And people are looking at. Now look at also the one that's under in a banking holding company like WAPI. It's also you can see that it's also moving up. Let's also check out what is happening in Prestige and WAPI before we call it a day. Prestige and WAPI also be a good one. Prestige and WAPI is also a good one to look at. Okay, this also the 1 hour chart. You can see that we can see here came up down here up. You can see that it's also moving up again, moving around 177 right now. money flow have gone below, even 30. You can see where it's going now, almost 55, and you can see that almost crossing the signal line on a 1 hour chart. You can see this is a good sign that you know that yes, there's still momentum in this stock. Even now I've gotten as high as this before pulling back. For me, it's a good one, remaining above below the T line on 1 hour chart. But now that's crossed it. That is a good sign. Even when you turn to a day chart, I think that also there's also an opportunity for this stock to rebound. You can see that it's resisting decline here. Looking at what the candlestick pattern, it came as low as here. It's also going up. For me, it's a good one this morning for the stock. Last one, let's look at our peak insurance. If time permits us, look at the master. Our time and fast spend. Our peak will be the last one we can look at. Let's see what is happening in our peak insurance. That is correlation. I think this one can see also the rebound on the day chart here. You can see it here. Money flow around 69. If let's rather the market is still bearish, let's quickly look at the 1 hour chart for this also. You can see we'll talk more on the banking stock individually on our discussion, our live class tomorrow by 12 to 1. We'll discuss them. We'll not enter few of the insurance company. We'll bring more of this word in the class on start today. But I see that there is time for us to take action on what to do with the banking stocks, and that's why I say this what is short time for banking stock. For this for insurance, I will also bet on them now. We'll look at it now. Let's also look for tomorrow to discussing more about the banking stock and where we should put our money ahead of all these numbers hitting the market. It's a good one. I will say thank you for your time. See you on Monday. By God bless. Bye.